One small clove of raw garlic can stand between you and a life of hidden illness, a simple guardian that has been both medicine and mystery for centuries. Helena Blavatsky, who sought wisdom in the places others ignore, would call this humble bulb a talisman, an object that links the body to deeper laws, a living symbol of protection. Hear her voice here, not as ancient jargon, but as an invitation to see the ordinary with sacred eyes. Imagine waking lighter, with a steady pulse and a quiet confidence that did not exist before. Picture your blood moving more freely, your digestion calm, your skin reflecting a new inner clarity. These are not promises of magic, but the quiet reports of those who made a small change and watched their life shift. In the old ways, a daily ritual, 1 or 2 cloves on an empty stomach, served as a disciplined act of care. In the modern world, science and tradition meet. Compounds in raw garlic are linked to heart balance, blood sugar control, cleansing of toxins, and defense against harmful agents in the gut. This introduction is not about fear. It is about choice. It is about replacing helplessness with a deliberate, gentle habit. The mental weight of illness is heavy. The thought that a tiny, available thing might help lift some of it creates urgent hope. Blavatsky taught that real power is in small, consistent acts guided by wisdom. Accepting one ritual is not surrender, but reclaiming agency over your body and your days. Stay with me through this journey. We will follow Blavatsky's quiet logic, part spirit, part careful study, and learn how a daily clove can protect the heart, steady sugar, cleanse the body, and even brighten your skin and hair. In the next part, we will let that guardian reveal how it shields the temple of the heart. Within a single clove of raw garlic lies a quiet revolution. A small object that asks nothing of you and promises nothing obvious, yet asks you to decide whether you will accept a tiny act that could change the tone of your days. Helena Blavatsky would not call this an advertisement for health. She would call it a symbol, a living mantram placed on the threshold between body and spirit. Listen to that voice for a moment. It is patient, a little severe, insisting that the simplest rites carry the deepest truths. Think of a kitchen at dawn. A dim square of light falls across a cutting board. A hand reaches, hesitates, then takes a clove. That hesitation is where the story hides. It is not just about flavor. It is about trust. Will you trust something so humble to hold real power? In the quiet of that hesitation lives our first micro-conflict, the line between common sense and secret tradition. The mind asks for evidence. The soul remembers old, half-forgotten rites. Which will you follow? People tell stories about such hesitations. An elderly woman in a mountain village once said she began eating a single clove each morning after her husband's sudden heart trouble. She told it like a ritual, not a remedy. Yet months later, she described a slow unwinding of anxiety, a steadying in her step, a feeling that her chest had more room. A young father, terrified by a family history of diabetes, began the same small practice out of desperation and hope. He did not call it a cure. He called it an ally, something that gave him a sense of returning control. These are not medical testimonies, but human ones. People who sought agency and found, in a tiny, sharp act, a pocket of discipline. That discipline can be stronger than any announcement from a clinic. The psychological weight of this choice is more profound than the taste. Choosing a clove each morning is a choice against helplessness. Here is a second tension. Modern medicine asking for trials and numbers versus the ancient instinct that rituals rearrange the heart. You may feel the anxiety tighten, a desire for quick fixes, a fear that ritual is superstition. That anxiety is useful. It drives us to question and to test. And so we test, not only in labs, but in daily life. We measure not only blood values, but the softer, less measurable things. The lightness of thought, the steadiness of mood, the sense that one can breathe a little deeper. Helena Blavatsky would remind you that symbols act on more than flesh. She would suggest that a clove is a crosspoint where matter and thought intersect. Eating it becomes an act of alignment, a small promise to oneself to wake and tend the inner temple. This framing is not meant to replace science. Rather, it restores meaning. When the ancients placed talismans on doorways, they did not expect objects to do the work alone. They expected an act of attention and a corresponding shift in behavior. This is a third conflict. Does value come from the object or from the attention we pay to it? The answer may lie in both. Curiosity brings us to surprising corners. There are quiet reports, small studies, historical notes, observations that link raw garlic to improvements in circulation, hints at steadying blood sugar, and a role in supporting the body's natural cleaning systems. These findings do not shout. They arrive like notes in an old song, repeated enough that patterns appear. Imagine them as threads drawn between the lab bench and the kitchen table. Each thread is fragile alone, but together they begin to form fabric. The mind will say, "Prove it." The heart replies, "Show me how it feels." The emotional texture of this practice can be intense. For some, the idea of raw garlic on an empty stomach feels bold, even transgressive. It can trigger fear of breath that carries through the day, worry about social judgment, shame about being labeled eccentric. Those are real costs. They are the small sacrifices the ritual asks of you. But there is another cost to inaction: the slow accumulation of neglect, the quiet willingness to accept decline as inevitable. Which cost matters more? That question sits heavy and requires an answer. You may also face internal contradiction. You want the reassurance of modern science and the meaning of ancient wisdom. That contradiction is not a failure. It is the human condition. Blavatsky's method was to hold opposites together. Science does not have to strip away mystery. Mystery does not have to deny evidence. If you accept that, the clove becomes both symbol and substance. You open your mouth and the taste is sharp, almost like a bell. You notice your body listening. Small changes gather. Sleep feels a bit more settled. The morning appetite shifts. A persistent tension in the chest eases, if only slightly. Those shifts are tiny, patient signals. They do not command a drama. They whisper. There are curious patterns to consider. In places where simple diets and daily rituals persist, communities often show resilience that confounds outsiders. Is this due to a single clove or to the entire weave of life? Perhaps the clove is an entry point, a simple daily knot that tightens the larger weave. Here another micro-conflict appears: isolation versus context. We want a single answer, a pill, a slogan, but life resists such reductions. The clove invites you into a process, not a product. The personal stories that animate this ritual matter because they reveal motivation. A woman who feared losing her mother to the same disease took the clove not out of ignorance, but out of love. A retired teacher, weary of feeling slow, took it to reclaim small pleasures, walking without, catching his breath, sitting with his grandchildren without fatigue. Their accounts are not proofs. They are invitations to test, to notice, to keep records, not only of numbers, but of mood, of courage, of small returns to life's pleasures. Skepticism remains wise. If you have a medical condition, do not imagine a clove as a substitute for professional care. This is not a promise of cure. It is a possibility for care. It is a ritual of attention that may align with broader steps: diet, movement, rest, counsel. Helena Blavatsky's ethics would insist on discernment. Take what helps, discard the rest. Remain humble before the unknown. So here we stand at a threshold. A tiny clove, a morning, a choice. You might feel a soft surge of agency or a prick of doubt. Both feelings can drive you forward. In the next part, we will open the door to the temple of the heart. We will place the clove beside the pulse and see what conversation begins between them. Will the heart answer, or will it remain silent? The answer is not only a fact, it is a movement. Prepare to listen. One breath can be a verdict. In a kitchen at dawn, in the split second when your hand closes around a clove of raw garlic, that breath decides whether you side with fear or with a small act of care that might alter the rhythm of your days. Think of your heart not as a machine, but as a quiet room where life speaks in rhythm. Many of us live with a soft alarm inside, a thudding that tightens when we climb stairs, a restless night that wakes us with a jolt, a worry about family history we cannot dismiss. These are not dramatic emergencies. They are the slow fray of attention to the body. They also open a space for choice. In stories across cultures, a small habit became the hinge of a larger change. Someone you know may have learned to breathe easier, not because of a single miracle, but because they chose a tiny daily discipline and stuck with it. A neighbor of mine, a woman named Lotta, began one garlic clove each morning after a scare with her husband's heart. She did not announce a cure. She simply reported a change in how she carried herself. The first month, she noticed less tightness when she walked. 3 months in, she reported fewer nights of restless worry. Doctors monitored her husband's condition closely, and medical care continued. Yet Lotta described the clove as a steadying ritual, a small commitment that shifted her anxiety into action. That shift, moving from helplessness to a small daily competence, matters for the heart in ways that cannot be fully measured by numbers alone. Imagine Ravi, a young father whose blood pressure crept upward after long nights and stress at work. He began the routine not for drama, but for control. He would sit in the kitchen, breathe, and chew a tiny clove before breakfast. The act itself felt like a promise to his body. I will notice you. Over months, he reported calmer mornings, easier walks with his son, and a feeling that his chest had a little more room. Clinical tests showed modest changes. What mattered to Ravi was the steadying he felt inside. That steadying can reduce the chronic stress that tightens blood vessels and makes the heart work harder. You might object. These are anecdotes. You are right to be cautious. Science offers cautious support. Compounds in raw garlic have been linked in studies to effects on circulation and factors that influence heart health. Those links are not declarations of cure. They are signals, threads connecting traditional practice with modern observation. The psychological effect is equally real. Doing a small controlled act each morning reduces the sense of helplessness. When you replace passive worry with an active ritual, you give your mind and body permission to shift. Daily life gives us clear tests. Picture yourself late for work, breath shallow, heart pounding after climbing a flight of stairs. Or imagine the slow dread that appears after reading a family history of heart disease. These are the moments when a ritual matters. Chewing one clove on an empty stomach is less about a single compound and more about the discipline of attention you give your own system. It trains your nervous system to expect care. It trains your decisions to favor preservation over neglect. This is the heart of the psychological shift. There is no escaping practical concerns. Raw garlic has a pungent smell that can embarrass. It may irritate the stomach in some people. Some medications can interact with garlic. You must weigh social cost against personal gain. For many, the embarrassment of breath is a small price for relief from ongoing worry. For others, it is not tolerable. That choice belongs to you. The wise path is measured. Start with one clove, watch the response, and consult a healthcare professional if you have conditions or take medicines. The daily examples are simple and close to home. A teacher reports calmer classroom mornings. A retiree says walks feel less labored. A nurse claims a steadier pulse during long shifts. These accounts do not mean universal effects. They mean human patterns. They show how small, repeated acts can become anchors. The anchor calms the mind, and the calm relaxes the body. In that loop, the heart finds room to breathe. Now imagine a small experiment you can do tomorrow. Measure how many steps to your second floor make you breathe harder. For 1 week, each morning chew one small clove of raw garlic on an empty stomach. Keep a simple notebook. Note breathlessness after walking, the ease of climbing stairs, nights of restful sleep, your mood. The data you collect will be your story. It may surprise you to see small shifts. The purpose is not dramatic cure. The purpose is to reclaim daily control. If you are moved by this idea and ready to make a small public commitment, write this sentence in the comments. मैं रोजाना अपनी सेहत के लिए 1-2 कली कच्चा लहसुन अपनाती हूँ. Saying it aloud, even in text, uses the power of public commitment. Psychologists show that actions we declare are more likely to become habits. This sentence is not a magic formula. It is a promise to yourself and a way to join others who choose a tiny ritual of care. And if you feel chosen to take the next step, click the red button in the corner of the screen. Only the chosen will click the red button to subscribe and be blessed by joining this small, disciplined community. Click it if you are ready to move from thinking to doing, from worry to a daily act of attention. Be aware, blessing here is symbolic, the blessing of shared resolve, of being part of a group that values small, steady practices for health. Remember, this is not medical advice. If you have heart disease, are on medication, or have concerns, consult your doctor before beginning any new habit. This practice is a complement, not a replacement for professional care. In the silence after your decision, pay attention. The heart responds to habit as much as to treatment. In the next part, we will follow the clove more closely into the heart's chambers and look at the subtle conversations that happen between compounds. And circulation. Will the pulse listen? Will the ritual become a small shield? Keep that promise to yourself. Watch what happens, and come with questions. When sugar in your blood feels like a quiet enemy, small acts become powerful allies. A clove of raw garlic is not a magic cure, but it can be a steady companion in a life that needs more control and less surprise. For many, diabetes is not a single event, but a daily negotiation with hunger, stress, sleep, and choices. Introducing a tiny ritual, chewing 1 or 2 cloves on an empty stomach, can change the shape of that negotiation. It shifts your posture from passive worry to active care. Science offers pieces of the puzzle. Compounds in raw garlic, especially allicin and sulfur-containing molecules, appear to influence the way the body handles sugar. These compounds may help insulin work better, help cells take in glucose, and reduce tiny inflammations that make blood sugar control harder. In simple terms, garlic can support the body's natural rhythm of glucose handling. It is not a replacement for medicines, but it can be an honest helper when combined with sensible food choices and movement. Think of insulin like a key and your cells like doors. In some people, the locks are rusty. The key struggles to open them. Garlic may oil those locks. Studies on animals and small human trials show changes in fasting blood sugar and improvements in markers of insulin sensitivity. The effects vary, but the pattern is consistent enough to make the idea worth trying. That a regular small habit can nudge biochemical systems toward balance. People's lives illustrate this quietly. A mother I know began the garlic ritual after her doctor warned of rising numbers. She did not stop medications. Instead, she added 1 clove each. Morning, paid attention to her food, and walked 30 minutes a day. 3 months later, her fasting glucose had lowered a modest amount, but she reported something more, a deepened sense of control. She was less likely to panic after a high reading and more likely to correct course gently. That psychological calm is part of the real benefit. If a daily clove helps, how should it be done to get the most effect? Crushing or chopping raw garlic activates its important compounds. Letting it rest for 10 minutes after crushing helps allicin form. Chewing it releases these compounds directly into the digestive tract, where they can be absorbed. Taking it on an empty stomach may increase absorption, but if you have stomach sensitivity, start slowly, or try it with a piece of fruit to reduce irritation. What if you find the taste too strong or the smell embarrassing? Some people swallow crushed garlic with water like a pill. Others mix it into a spoon of honey or yogurt. Fermented garlic or aged garlic extracts can reduce pungency while preserving some benefits. The key is consistency. Small adaptations matter more than perfection. If you skip days, the effect will be smaller. If you do it with intention, you add psychological weight to the chemical action. Could a clove alone change the course of diabetes? Probably not. But combined with diet and movement, it can be a visible thread in a larger pattern. Replace sugary drinks with water. Prioritize whole foods. Move in ways you enjoy. Sleep well. And manage stress. Garlic is one tool among many, an entry point into a different set of daily choices. When one small ritual is kept, others are easier to adopt. Have you noticed how small ritual builds confidence? A man named Arjun used to hate mornings. His blood sugar swings made him moody and tired. He began the garlic habit, but also put his running shoes by the bed and drank water first thing. The clove became a sign. I am starting the day differently. Within weeks, his energy improved, his cravings softened, and his readings stabilized enough to reduce dose adjustments. The change was gradual and required patience, but each morning he rewired expectation. What about risks? Garlic is mostly safe, but caution matters. It can thin the blood, so if you are on blood thinners or about to undergo surgery, consult your doctor. It can irritate the stomach or cause reflux in some people. Excessive doses may cause digestive upset. Pregnant and breastfeeding women should seek medical advice. Always balance curiosity with prudence. There are surprising interactions too. Stress raises blood sugar through hormones like cortisol. A controlled morning routine, including a calming breath, some water, and your garlic clove, can reduce morning stress signals. The psychological act of care lowers sympathetic arousal. Less stress means fewer sugar spikes. You are not only changing chemistry, you are changing the mind that drives chemistry. Does this mean religion or superstition is necessary? No. The point is attention. Ancient healers used symbols and rituals because they worked on the whole person, body, mind, and community. The modern equivalent is deliberate habit. Chew the clove, notice your breath, plan your meals. This combination of body-level input and mental focus creates a feedback loop. Action informs feeling. Feeling reinforces action. How soon will you see changes? That depends. Some people notice small improvements in energy and digestion within days. Blood glucose markers may shift over weeks to months. Track what matters to you: fasting glucose, post-meal readings, weight, sleep quality, and mood. Keep a simple log. Small, reliable data helps you decide whether the practice is worth continuing. Consider the role of community. Telling a friend about your experiment increases the likelihood you will keep it. Public commitment is powerful. You can swap tips about preparation, crushing and waiting, swallowing with honey, or trying aged garlic powder. When others share their small wins, your motivation strengthens. Human beings are social creatures. Habits spread through conversation and trust. What if you try it and nothing changes? That is useful information. Not everybody responds the same way. If you see no benefit after a reasonable period, reconsider dose, timing, and interactions with other medicines. Consult a healthcare professional. The experiment is yours to design. Respect the signals your body gives and be willing to adjust. Finally, imagine the long view. Diabetes is often a long game. Small daily acts are the currency of long-term change. One clove does not erase risk, but it can be a steady reminder that health is made in tiny moments. That daily act trains patience and attention. Over months and years, small shifts compound into meaningful difference. You learn to listen to your body and to act. Are you ready to test this quietly? Start tomorrow. Crush one small clove, wait 10 minutes, chew it on an empty stomach, then drink water. Note your fasting reading, your mood, your energy. Do this for 2 weeks and keep a simple record. Let curiosity, not fear, lead you. Watch the small patterns emerge. In the next part, we will follow the clove as it moves through the body's cleaning systems. We will explore how garlic interacts with the liver, the gut, and the slow processes that decide whether toxins leave or linger. Will your body rejoice, or will it resist? Prepare to notice and bring patience. The body keeps a quiet ledger of what we allow into it. Each morning habit is an entry. A coffee, a walk, a clove of garlic. When you add a clove with attention, you do more than taste a sharp flavor. You begin a small ceremony of clearance. Imagine your liver as a patient workroom, folding toxins into packages and sending them out. Imagine your gut as a crowded market where good and bad sellers shout for space. Garlic moves through both places like a calm keeper, nudging the balance toward order. This is not poetry only. It is how many people describe the slow feeling of being cleaner inside. Lighter steps, fewer stomach complaints, a face that seems to catch light differently. Those descriptions come from habit, not from a single miracle. They are the result of a process that touches biology and behavior at once. There are real molecules behind the ritual. When you crush or chew raw garlic, enzymes transform its compounds into allicin and related sulfur molecules. These molecules act in several ways. They signal antioxidant systems, they influence enzymes in the liver that handle detoxification, and they interact with microbes in the gut. Think of them as messengers. They do not solve every problem, but they speak to key systems that decide whether the body holds on to waste or sends it away. This conversation with the liver matters because the liver handles the chemical load of air, food, medicines, and metabolic byproducts. Chronic overload makes the liver sluggish. A sluggish liver contributes to fatigue, dull skin, and a sense of heaviness. People who add garlic to their routine often report a gradual lifting of that weight. Stories make the change easier to imagine. A friend named Mira noticed that after months of adding a small clove each morning, her face stopped reacting to the seasonal flare-ups she used to get. The redness softened and the tiny bumps she called monthly visitors diminished. Her doctor did not declare a miracle, but they both observed that her inflammatory markers had eased slightly and her liver enzymes were stable. Mira did not rely on garlic alone. She reduced processed foods and drank more water. Yet she insisted that the clove was the gesture that kept her consistent. Another man's story is about scale. He felt bloated each night and found it hard to sleep. He began crushing a clove, waiting 10 minutes, and swallowing it with warm water at dawn. Over weeks, he reported less nighttime discomfort and steadier digestion. These accounts are human proofs of movement. Small adjustments, repeated, can change the texture of daily living. On a global scale, the need for better preventive habits is clear. Non-communicable diseases like heart disease, cancer, and liver conditions form a large and growing part of the burden of illness worldwide. The World Health Organization highlights how lifestyle and environmental factors shape much of this burden. If simple, low-cost habits can reduce risk or improve early-stage function, they matter. Garlic is inexpensive and widely available. In cultures where people eat garlic regularly, some epidemiologists have noticed patterns of lower rates for certain diseases. Those patterns do not prove cause and effect, but they point to something worth studying and trying for oneself. There are also unexpected scientific notes. Certain sulfur compounds in garlic appear to support the body's antioxidant networks, including glutathione, an important cellular defender. Supporting antioxidants is not a ticket to avoiding all damage. It is a way to keep cells supplied to repair and clear daily wear. In the liver, garlic signals can enhance the activity of phase 2 detox enzymes, those that bind and prepare toxins for safe removal. This is chemical assistance, modest but meaningful when combined with healthy habits. It is like adding a small tool to a busy workshop. It does not replace the craftsperson, but it makes some tasks easier. The gut is another stage where garlic's presence is noticed. Garlic has natural antimicrobial properties. In simple terms, it can inhibit some harmful microbes while leaving beneficial ones less affected. Scientists describe it as modulating the microbiome, shifting the balance rather than erasing the diversity. Infections such as H. pylori, associated with ulcers and linked to stomach cancer risks, have been studied in relation to garlic. Some lab and small clinical studies show that garlic can slow this bacterium's growth. The evidence in humans is mixed and incomplete, but the principle is clear. A diet that includes variable, whole foods such as garlic affects the microbial ecology in the gut. When harmful strains are suppressed, the gut's lining may inflame less, digestion can feel smoother, and the immune system inside the intestines works with fewer irritations. This microbial balancing act matters for emotions too. The gut is a source of neurotransmitters and signals that travel up to the brain, reduce inflammation, improve digestion, and some people notice better mood and clearer thought. The psychological effect of feeling less bloated or less anxious about food choices is a real benefit. It feeds itself. Feeling better encourages further good choices. Cancer prevention is a subject where caution and curiosity must meet. Globally, cancers of the digestive tract, such as stomach and colorectal cancer, remain serious public health problems. Many observational studies have explored whether people who eat more garlic have lower rates of these cancers. Some findings suggest a reduced risk, particularly in regions with higher garlic consumption and diets lower in processed foods. Mechanisms proposed include garlic's ability to reduce harmful bacteria, to enhance DNA repair processes, and to modulate inflammation. These mechanisms are plausible and supported by lab research, but epidemiology is complex. Diets are many-threaded, and isolating one ingredient's long-term effect is difficult. The safest view is that garlic may be one protective element among many. It is not a guarantee, but it can be part of a prevention-minded lifestyle. Unexpected historical facts add texture. For thousands of years, people around the world used garlic as both food and functional medicine. Ancient workers in Egypt ate garlic for strength. Medieval sailors used it against infection. Traditional systems have placed it in rituals of protection. This continuity does not prove modern effectiveness, but it suggests that people kept using garlic because they found benefits. When modern science began to analyze garlic, it found molecules that explain some of those benefits. That bridge between folk use and biochemical insight is rare and worth noting. Skin and hair respond to the body's inner climate. When circulation improves and inflammation lessens, the skin often reflects the change. Antioxidant activity reduces oxidative stress that contributes to aging signs. Circulation improvements can nourish hair follicles. Some people report stronger hair growth or reduced hair fall when they pair better nutrition and mild topical measures with a diet that includes garlic. The effect varies. It cannot replace genetics or focused dermatological treatment, but it contributes to the overall environment in which hair and skin thrive. There are surprising practical points that make the habit easier. Crushing garlic and letting it rest for 10 minutes increases the formation of allicin, maximizing its active compounds before you consume it. Aged garlic extract reduces the pungent odor and preserves some benefits, making it a tolerable option for those worried about social smell. Cooking reduces certain active compounds, so raw consumption offers a different profile of effects than cooked garlic. Small adaptations, taking garlic with a spoonful of honey or a bit of yogurt, can reduce stomach irritation while keeping benefits. Global statistics remind us why small habits matter. The burden of digestive cancers, liver disease, and chronic inflammatory conditions remains significant worldwide. Prevention strategies that are low-cost and widely adoptable can reach populations who face barriers to expensive care. Adding a simple dietary habit that supports the liver and gut is not a replacement for public health infrastructure. It is a personal practice that can join broader efforts. Screening programs, reduced smoking, better food systems, clean air, and access to medical care. But there are real limits and warnings. Garlic can irritate the stomach for some people, causing heartburn or reflux. It can thin the blood and interact with anticoagulant medications. People with sensitive digestion, ulcers, or those about to undergo surgery should consult medical professionals. Before beginning regular raw garlic intake, pregnant or breastfeeding women should seek personalized advice. Excessive doses can cause digestive upset and do not equate to greater benefit. The psychological frame matters as much as the molecules. Choosing to add garlic is an act of attention. It sends a message to yourself. I will notice my body. That shift in attitude leads to better sleep choices, more consistent exercise, and more mindful eating. When you commit publicly, with friends or in a journal, you increase the habit's endurance. Communities form around small practices. In many cultures, routine consumption of potent plants like garlic created networks of shared meals, stories, and support. That social reinforcement multiplies the effect. Consider a family story. A father with a history of stomach issues began a modest experiment with garlic after a relative's diagnosis of colorectal cancer. He joined a screening program, improved his diet, and took 1 clove a day while monitoring his health with his doctor. Months later, his sleep improved and his digestion stabilized. The family saw the practice not as magic, but as a respectful effort, routine, visible, shared. They felt less helpless because they took steps together. There are also laboratory surprises. Some compounds in garlic affect cellular pathways that control inflammation and apoptosis, the process by which damaged cells are removed. In lab models, this can slow the growth of certain cancer cells. Translating lab results to human health is complex and slow, but the direction of effect gives reason for interest. If a low-cost food can nudge cellular processes toward balance, that potential is worth exploring through careful human studies. Finally, the ritual itself carries power. Crushing a clove, letting it rest, swallowing it with water. This sequence creates a mindful space. It slows hurried mornings and makes you remember your body. It is a tiny refusal of resignation. When you take a small step each day, you accumulate resilience. Over months, habit composes a new baseline. The body's systems respond to the steady inputs you give them. The science suggests reasons why garlic can help the liver, shape the microbiome, and offer protective signals against some disease processes. The human stories show how small acts change lived experience. If you decide to try this path, start modestly and wisely. Begin with one small clove crushed and rested 10 minutes, taken with water on an empty stomach. Notice how your digestion feels, whether your sleep changes, or whether your skin shows gentle changes over weeks. Keep a simple log. Consult a clinician if you take medications or have serious conditions. This is not a replacement for medical care. It is a companion practice, an affordable, measurable habit that invites your body to clear and renew. In the next part, we will move outward from bodily function to appearance and identity. We will watch how consistent internal change can alter how you look and how you feel about yourself. Will your reflection show the small work done within? Will others notice? And will you notice differently? Keep the practice with patience and care, and watch for subtle signs that the inner work is unfolding. Hold this moment like a quiet promise. You have listened, considered, and imagined how a small clove can become a daily act of care. Now the question is practical. How do you convert intention into a steady habit that respects your body, your life, and your limits? This final part is a compassionate step-by-step map, rooted in simple science, common sense, and gentle psychology. So you can try this practice safely and meaningfully, and see for yourself what changes may follow. Begin with clarity. Decide why you want to try this. More steady energy, gentler digestion, supporting heart health, clearer skin, or simply a daily act of attention. Write that reason on a note and keep it where you will see it each morning. A clear why anchors habit. Next, set a short, realistic testing window. 2 to 3 weeks is a fair start to notice small changes. 3 months gives a clearer picture for modest physiological shifts. Treat this as an experiment for you, not a test you must pass. Prepare your method before you begin. Use 1 small fresh clove each morning, or 2 if you tolerate it well and your doctor approves. Crush or finely chop the clove and wait 10 minutes before eating it. This step activates alechin, the compound that carries much of garlic's activity. Chew carefully on an empty stomach, then drink a glass of water. If raw taste or smell bothers you, try swallowing the crushed clove with a spoonful of yogurt or honey, or take aged garlic extract as an alternative. Always start with the smallest dose you can tolerate, and increase only if your body responds well. Track a few simple measures every day. Keep a small journal or a note on your phone. Record 1 or 2 objective numbers and 3 subjective notes. For example, morning blood pressure or fasting glucose, if you already monitor these, plus notes on sleep quality, digestion, mood, and energy. Each evening, mark whether you took the clove and how you felt. This daily bookkeeping trains your attention and gives you real data to reflect on at the end of your trial. Small records beat vague memory. Build the habit using gentle psychology. Pair the garlic with an existing routine. Habit stacking makes new behaviors easier. If you always drink water after waking, place the garlic beside the glass and do both together. Use visual cues, a small bowl for cloves, a sticky note on your bathroom mirror, or the sound of a soft alarm titled "Care." Public commitment helps too. Tell one supportive friend or a family member you trust. People who declare their intentions are more likely to follow through. Create an environment that supports practice. Buy fresh garlic bulbs and keep them in a cool, dry place. Choose firm, tight-headed bulbs without mold. If storage or pungency is a concern, aged garlic supplements are an option. Look for reputable brands and clear ingredient labels. If you live with others, be mindful of breath odor. Chew a sprig of parsley or rinse with lemon water after the clove. These small adjustments maintain social ease while keeping the practice sustainable. Respect safety and personal limits. If you take blood thinners, anticoagulants, or have planned surgery, discuss garlic intake with your healthcare provider first. If you have ulcers, reflux, or a sensitive stomach, start with crushed garlic mixed into yogurt. or consult a clinician. Pregnant or nursing people should seek personalized medical advice before starting raw garlic daily. Treat this practice as an informed companion to, not a replacement for, professional medical care. Combine garlic with proven lifestyle supports. Garlic is most useful as one part of a broader, consistent plan. Prioritize sleep, hydrate well, choose whole foods over processed ones, move daily in ways you enjoy, and manage stress through breath or brief meditation. These habits amplify each other. The psychological lift of a regular ritual often nudges other choices. Choose the movement you enjoy. Cook one extra vegetable for a meal. Take a short walk after lunch. Small compound actions create real momentum. Use simple tests to measure progress. After your initial 2-week window, review your log. Look for trends rather than perfection. More steady mornings, fewer digestive complaints, calmer mood, lighter skin tone, easier walks, or small improvements in measured numbers. If you do see useful change, keep the practice and continue tracking. If not, try small adjustments. Change timing. Try aged garlic, reduce dose, or pause for a week and observe differences. The key is careful listening, not insistence. Invite community and learning. Share your experience with friends, a local group, or online communities that focus on gentle health experiments. Ask questions, swap practical tips for tolerating taste or smell, and learn from others' tracking methods. Public storytelling makes habits more likely to survive. If you prefer privacy, journaling or anonymous forums can provide the accountability you need. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. Some benefits show up quickly, others require weeks or months. The body responds at its own pace. Celebrate small wins. A single week of consistent practice, a day with less bloating, a night of deeper sleep. These small victories are the signals that reinforcement is working. If you miss a day, do not treat it as failure. Notice why it happened and return the next morning. Resilience is built by returning, not by perfection. Finally, adopt a reflective end-of-trial ritual. After your first month or 3 months, sit quietly and review your journal. Ask straightforward questions. Did I feel different? Did objective measures change? What felt worth keeping? What felt unnecessary or harmful? Make a conscious choice to continue, modify, or stop based on that reflection, ideally with professional input when health conditions or medications are involved. If you are ready to act now, take one simple step. Tonight, prepare one small clove and place it beside a glass of water where you will see it in the morning. Write your reason for trying this on a small card and place it with the clove. When you wake, follow the simple preparation. Crush, wait 10 minutes, chew, and drink. After 2 weeks, review your notes and decide your next move. This small, practical plan makes the ritual real without turning life upside down. If this video helped you think differently about a tiny habit that could protect your health, please join our community. Subscribe to the channel to receive more grounded, practical guidance. Like the video if you found it useful, and leave a comment with your questions or your experience. You can share openly or anonymously, whatever makes you comfortable. Tell us what you will try, what you are unsure about, or what small win you noticed. We read your words and build the next content around your real needs. You do not need grand gestures to change the course of a life. Small, consistent acts, done with attention and care, compose the architecture of health. Try gently, track kindly, and choose wisely. We will be here step by step, listening and learning with you.